Have you ever wondered about the relationship between the Creator and time? Is time simply a measurement, a ticking clock marking our days, or is there something deeper? Today, we're exploring one of the most profound mysteries. How was time created? We'll examine the biblical narrative, delve into scientific theories, and even touch on philosophical musings about the nature of time itself. The biblical account of creation and time. Let's begin with the Bible, our ancient and timeless text. In Genesis 1 verse 1, we read, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." But what does beginning mean if not the inception of time itself? In the biblical account, time is not an eternal constant. It's a created entity. Before creation, there was no before because time itself didn't exist. Notice how the Bible speaks of creation. God brings forth order from chaos, and with that order comes the rhythm of time. In Genesis 1 verses 14 to 19, the text explains, "And God said, 'Let there be lights in the expanse of the heavens to separate the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons, and for days and years.'" Here we see that the creation of the sun, moon, and stars isn't just about providing light, it's about establishing a cycle. The alternation of light and darkness, the rise and fall of celestial bodies, set the very foundation for our measurement of time. It's remarkable to note that the Bible does not mention a first day until these celestial bodies were created. In a way, the very act of establishing time was contingent on the appearance of light and darkness. Moreover, when Jesus said in Acts 1 verse 7, "It is not for you to know the times or seasons which the Father has put in his own power," he was reminding us that time is ultimately under divine authority. The Creator is not bound by time. In fact, time is a framework he designed for his creation, a system to help us understand our journey from birth to our eventual eternal destiny. Think about the implications. Time, as we measure it, begins with the creation of light and the sun's rise and fall. Before that, the cosmos existed in a state beyond our understanding of day and night. This idea is revolutionary because it positions time as a product of divine will, a gift that frames our existence rather than an independent, self-sustaining force. The scientific perspective on time creation. Now let's turn to science. Modern physics has long grappled with the nature of time. According to the Big Bang theory, our universe began as a singularity, a point where all matter, space, and time were condensed. With the Big Bang, not only did matter burst forth, but time itself began to flow. This aligns strikingly with the biblical notion that time had a beginning. Albert Einstein's theory of relativity revolutionized our understanding by demonstrating that time is not an absolute constant. Instead, it's relative, flexing, and warping depending on gravity and speed. The famous equation E equals mc squared hints at a universe where energy and matter are intertwined, and time, too, is interwoven with the fabric of space. Physicists like Stephen Hawking and Paul Davies have taken this further. In A Brief History of Time, Hawking discusses how time is bound up with space in a four-dimensional continuum. Paul Davies, in About Time, Einstein's unfinished revolution, even suggests that what we experience as time may be an emergent phenomenon, a byproduct of the underlying laws of the cosmos rather than a fundamental aspect of reality. Consider this: if time began with the universe, then there is no before the Big Bang, no ticking clock counting down to creation. This mirrors the biblical narrative where the beginning is the moment of creation itself. In both the scientific and biblical accounts, time is not eternal. It has a definitive start. Furthermore, modern cosmology introduces ideas like cosmic inflation, a rapid expansion of space immediately after the Big Bang. During this inflationary period, the very scales of time and space were being defined. This period set the stage for the universe as we know it, just as the creation of celestial bodies in Genesis set the rhythm for our earthly existence. So, while our scientific models might not reference a divine creator explicitly, they underscore a similar truth. Time, as we understand it, is not a backdrop that always existed. It was brought into being along with the cosmos. Philosophical reflections on time. Beyond science and scripture, philosophers have pondered the essence of time for centuries. Augustine of Hippo, one of history's most influential theologians, wrote extensively on the nature of time in his work, Confessions. He famously stated, "What then is time? If no one asks me, I know what it is. If I wish to explain it to him who asks, I do not know." Augustine recognized that time is both a measure and a mystery. To him, time was not an independent entity but a perception, a sequence in the mind that orders our experiences. This aligns with the idea that time, as created by God, is a framework within which we live our lives. It's a tool for measurement, a canvas on which God paints the story of creation. Philosophers also debate between theories like presentism, the idea that only the present is real, and eternalism, which posits that past, present, and future coexist simultaneously. From a biblical standpoint, scriptures like Psalm 90 verse 4 offer a hint of eternalism. For 1,000 years in your sight are like a day that has just gone by, or like a watch in the night. This verse suggests that God's experience of time is radically different from ours. For the Creator, the temporal sequence is fluid, and all of time may be perceived at once. This philosophical perspective challenges us to see beyond our linear experience of time and to recognize that the divine perspective is not limited by our clocks and calendars. Furthermore, thinkers such as Henri Bergson have argued that time is not merely a series of discrete moments but a continuous flow, a duration that is lived and felt. This concept resonates with our human experience of time as something deeply personal and ever-moving. It's the interplay between the ticking clock and our inner, subjective experience that gives time its rich, multifaceted nature. In all these reflections, we see that time's creation is not just a technical event but a profound act that shapes our understanding of existence itself. The very act of creating time implies a creator who not only initiates but also sustains the rhythm of life. Time creation and its implications for human life. So what does all this mean for us? The creation of time, whether viewed through a biblical lens, scientific discovery, or philosophical inquiry, offers us profound insights into our existence. The Bible reminds us that our lives are structured within the framework of time. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1 teaches, "To everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven." This verse isn't just poetic. It's a call to live with intentionality. Every moment, every day, season, and year is a gift. It's a reminder that we are part of a larger, divinely orchestrated narrative. When we understand that time itself is a creation of the divine, we begin to see our existence as part of a grand tapestry. We are not isolated beings moving through a random sequence of events. Instead, our lives are intricately woven into the Creator's eternal design. Each moment we experience, from the simplest breath to the grandest milestone, is imbued with purpose. Romans 8 verse 28 echoes this sentiment. And we know that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are called according to His purpose. Even in our moments of struggle or waiting, we can trust that there is a divine order at work, a rhythm that spans beyond our immediate understanding of time. Understanding time's creation also encourages us to make wise choices. Ephesians 5 verse 16 urges us, "Redeeming the time, because the days are evil." We are called to live purposefully, cherishing each moment as an opportunity to align our lives with the eternal plan of our Creator. Moreover, realizing that time began with creation invites us to ponder the mystery of our own beginnings. Just as the cosmos sprang forth from a singular moment of divine initiation, our lives are a reflection of that moment, each of us a unique expression of the Creator's intent. It is both humbling and empowering to know that we exist within a time that is itself a work of art, crafted by a loving, purposeful hand. Conclusion. As we wrap up our journey through the creation of time, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned. Whether you lean toward a biblical interpretation, scientific reasoning, or philosophical thought, one truth remains clear. Time is not an infinite, unchanging force. It is a gift, a deliberate creation that frames our existence and connects us to the eternal. The Creator, who exists beyond the confines of time, invites us to look beyond the ticking clock and see the bigger picture. A narrative that stretches from the very beginning of the cosmos to the endless horizon of eternity. If this exploration of time's creation has inspired you, please like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the mysteries of life and faith. Remember, while we live within the bounds of time, the Creator's love and purpose for us are timeless.